Shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, and His only begotten Son, Christ. This is Brother Rach Ahrayah from HOI New York, New Jersey. And I just wanted to do a quick lesson on why January isn't the beginning of the new year. All right. So first, I want to go to Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Okay. So this is the Most High giving the commandments to give to Moses and Aaron to the nation of Israel, but also, again, there's a crucial feast day that also takes place in the first month. All right, so I want to turn to Exodus chapter 34, verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month Abib. For in the month Abib thou camest out from Egypt. Right, so the first month of the year is Abib, which is simultaneous with the same time that the Passover is, right? The Feast of Unleavened Bread is the Passover, which also takes place in the beginning of the year, the first month. Okay, next I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. It reads, Observe the month Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Okay, so all those scriptures are synonymous with one another because it's speaking about what the first month of the year is and how the first feast day is in that first month. Okay, and the feast is the Passover, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, where the Lord took the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt, okay? And that is in the springtime, right? The first month of the year is in the springtime, which is why the Passover falls at the end of March, beginning of April, all right? Next, I want to show you guys here a concordance. This is a Strong's concordance. I showed you the transliteration and the pronunciation here. At the end, you see here, it says, hence the name of the month Abib or Nisan, okay, because that's synonymous with one another as being the first month of the year. So next, I want to go to Esther chapter 3, verse 7. It reads, in the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, right? So here in the book of Esther, it's alluding to when the first month is, and it says that it is Nisan, which is the same thing as Abib, right? As you saw in the concordance. Okay, so now here's a definition of what Nisan is, according to modern day terms. Here's a definition, and it is synonymous with being around March and or April time, which is the beginning of the year. Okay, and remember now, the Most High has already said on multiple occasions that the first month is the beginning of the year. The first month is when the Passover is, which is why the Passover is in the springtime. And it only makes sense on why the Most High would have it set up that way, because why? That's when everything comes forth. Everything grows and springs in the springtime, hence the name, right? Nothing springs forth in the wintertime, the dead winter. No life springs forth. The trees don't begin to blossom. Plants don't begin to grow. Animals don't begin to come out of hibernation and mate with one another, right? Why would the Most High have a year begin dead winter, right, when nothing is growing or springing forth? All right, it also doesn't even line up with the Earth's rotational system, right? As far as now, the winter solstice, the summer equinox, what have you, the Earth's natural cycle and the way that life on the Earth comes forth, it takes place in the springtime, not in the wintertime. All right. And to stay on that point, I want to go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Okay. It reads, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time," right? So, of course, we know Daniel, he prophesied against the Chaldeans, right? And who came out of the Chaldeans? The Greeks, right? Which gave birth to the Romans and so forth and so on. The same people that are upholding these days and customs to this day, right? And this is very key because the Romans are the ones who predominantly manipulated the calendar system that we go by today. All right, so right here, there's a picture of the calendar where these days started to fall under the time that they do now, okay? In 45 BC, under Julius Caesar, all right, it was mandated that they went off of a Julian calendar, all right? The Julian calendar, which is the one where these latter months were added in. Okay, and what we go off of now is called a Gregorian calendar, which is named after Pope Gregory from 1582. All right, and again, it's still synonymous with the days and months that are being upheld. All right, but you have to remember, this isn't originally the calendar that even the Romans went off of. They were going off of something that was more synonymous with the Hebrew calendar. Okay, and again, these latter months, specifically January and February, were added later on, okay? And even diving in more to that, if anyone looks up on their own, any brothers or sisters, you can see how every month that we go off of now, it is named after a Roman god and or deity, or possibly even a festival too, but it's all centered around Rome predominantly, right? Hence all the names that we have. Okay, for these months. Now, concerning the month of January specifically, all right, January is named after the Roman god Janus. Okay, and this month is basically to pay homage to this god. All right, and Janus is known as the god of beginnings and endings, right? So he also rules over portals and doors, right? So portals basically entering into a new year and looking past the old year. Also, this is supposed to be the beginning, all right? And he's the god of beginning and ending. So people look back on the past year and then they look forward to the year to come. Right. But again, the earth alone tells you that the beginning of a new year hasn't taken place. You know, the only thing that changes is just the date on the calendar when you wake up the next day. You don't see any changes taking place in the environment around you or in nature. Right. Next, I want to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, right? So the Most High is not the author of confusion. He's given us plenty of hints to tell us flat out that the beginning of the year is in the month Abib and or Nisan, which is around the springtime, okay? So the Lord would not change on what he has said already to us as far as how this earth, which the Most High created, functions, right? So we know based off of nature and what we see that the beginning of the year is the springtime when life is springing forth, not when the Roman Greek deities tell you that it is, right? And last, I want to end with Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. It reads, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed," right? So the Most High said that he does not change. He says that the Passover is in the first month. Hence the same reason why now brothers and sisters keep the Passover at the end of March and or the beginning of April, the first month, all depending on the cycle of the moons, right? The new moon cycle. All right. So again, the Most High say he does not change, so that the children of Jacob, right, the children of Israel, are not consumed. So we're able to keep these feast days and uphold the things that the Lord tells us and not follow the traditions of men. So with that, I say all praises to the Most High, creator of all creation. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad, and shalom.